Today I have the pleasure of being with Mr. Scott Dawson, who is a candidate for governor of the state of Alabama. Welcome to Houston County, Alabama.
Thank you, sir.
Tell me a little bit about Scott Dawson.
Sure. First of all, thank you, Ricky, for taking some time with me. I grew up in Inslee, just west of Birmingham. I went to Samford University, got my master's in Beeson Divinity School, and started a ministry, kind of like a Billy Graham, but much smaller. But we do student conferences. We have about 12,000 students up at Pigeon Forge every winter. We'll do. We work with Major League Baseball. We do events after the baseball game. We'll have player testimonies, a concert, and I get to share a good message. And that's where I've been for 30 years. And I've got a wife of 26 years. We have 2 kids. Both are in college, so I'm broke. But anyway, and we've just gone down the highway of life, and then all of a sudden we found ourselves in the midst of a governor's race.
What brought you to the governor's race?
Yeah, people are surprised because they've known me in ministry, and I tell them, so was I. But when you look at the history of Alabama politics, in the last 50 years, we've only had 2 governors in the state of Alabama serve consecutive terms without being impeached, indicted, or arrested. And I went, that's enough. Something's got to happen. And I became part of a grassroots organization. Just wanted to find somebody that's not tied to special interests, somebody that will look out for the common people and move our state forward. To my surprise, everybody looked at me and went, well, you're the one. And so I prayed about it and got what I feel like a good confirmation that this is the point for us. And as I've been out, man, it's just been a firestorm, if you will, across the state. When we announced, we had 7,000 Alabamians sign on to be a part of the campaign. That number is now over 20,000 people across our state.
With that said, if people want to sign on the campaign, how do they do that?
Sure. It's just as simple as going online to scottdawson.com. That's DAWSON.com. If you ever have a hard time remembering Dawson, just remember if it's spelt backwards, it's nosewide. But that's a different thing. But I just want to make sure that people know you can go on Facebook, Scott Dawson for Governor. You can go online. We would love for you to check us out and see what we stand for.
What are some things that you want to accomplish if elected governor?
Well, I think first of all, let's not sidestep ethics. We don't need to weaken ethics laws. We just need to live by them, okay? And set the standard instead of just lowering the bar. The second thing would be education. Pre-K should be available for every young child, but mandatory for none. Because my basic understanding is that government can't do a better job than a parent. Now, some kids come from a home where a parent just cannot do that, so it should be available. But I know my wife did a phenomenal job with our kids, and so I don't want to make it mandatory to take away a child from a parent at such an early age. And 1st through 3rd grade, they tell us that prison beds are determined by how many children can't read by 3rd grade. And I thought, we can take care of that problem. We don't have to spend millions and millions and millions of dollars. We have an army of volunteers, retired teachers and CPAs and doctors and nurses and housewives and dads that are out there that would love to come into these elementary schools. And with a background check and proper adult supervision, we can make sure every child, by the time he or she gets to 3rd grade, has reading, writing, and arithmetic. Now, those are just a couple. When we get to high school, I want to make it mandatory drug testing for any extracurricular activity. Not so we can lock them up, but so we can offer them help. We're losing a generation right before our eyes. And the one thing that I've realized, drug addiction doesn't know a race. It doesn't know a gender. It doesn't know a socioeconomic status. It is an equal opportunity destroyer. And what we've got to do is give help to these young people who have got an addiction in their mindset. It could be state-based drug rehab, but what I want to do is open the door fully for faith-based drug rehab that's effective, and I'm going to use the word that can restore and redeem some of these people back into our communities.
It's one of the best ideas that I've heard as far as the drug testing in school and getting a grip on the problem before it gets out of hand. Let me ask you this about mental health, and I'm going to go to the Broward County school shooting. And some of the major news media has been hammering on the sheriff's department about you had 23 calls about this young man. Well, there's a problem of what you do with people with mental health. States had several places closed with mental health. What would be your attack on the mental health issues?
Well, Ricky, and you know, politicians seem to have all the answers. Leaders start asking the questions, and we're asking the questions: what can be done? The first thing that's got to happen is the immediate management of this crisis is to open up more beds and to offer that counseling for some of these people who've got conditions. I mean, you think about law enforcement, they only have two options. They either lock them up or set them free. There's got to be some way that we can provide mental health opportunities for those people who have that condition. Again, though, I think you can look further down the road and offer an option for faith-based mental health. Maybe there's other alternatives out there. What I want to do is get people around the table that want to solve a problem, and let's come up with a solution that works best for the state of Alabama, and stop allowing special interests just to whisper in our ear and we kick the can down the road.
In closing, what's your thoughts that you want, or the message you want the people to hear on Scott Dawson?
Yeah. Well, I'm a son, I'm a husband, I'm a dad. What I would like for you to do is research every candidate. I would love to earn your vote and your support. But whoever you get behind, this next election is so critical for the future of Alabama, for your children, your grandchildren's sake, that you got to look, who are you going to put the trust in? For 30 years, I've lived my life. Character is not built during an election year. It's built over a lifetime. And we're not looking for a perfect candidate, but we are looking for a consistent person. And if you allow me to be your governor for these next 4 years, every day I'm going to show up, give it all I've got, because all I know is to bring people together. I've worked with pastors, CEOs. They don't agree on everything, but we bring them together, move them towards one common goal. We've got a supermajority of Republicans in Montgomery, and we still can't get anything done. You know what Scripture says? Without vision, the people perish. You'll have people come in and say, you need a seasoned politician to be your governor. Others will come in and go, we need a business person to sit in the seat. You know what I believe? Alabama needs a leader. And that's all I've known for all my life. So if elected, I would be honored to serve as your governor. ScottDawson.com. Thank you for your time today.